Hello, my name is Rabbi Tuvia Bolta, and I'm speaking to you from the Holy Rabbinical Institute of Yeshiva Or Tamimim in Kor Chabad. Today I would like to talk a little bit about freedom. Freedom is a wonderful thing. We see now in the world there are big revolutions going on in the Arabic states, in Egypt, in Libya, in Yemen, and other places over the topic of freedom. Freedom, people, as what Nathan Hale once said in America, a famous statement: "Give me liberty or give me death." What is liberty? What is really freedom? One of the most revolutionary and unique people that ever lived in the history of the world was a man called Napoleon. Napoleon fired up the imaginations of millions of Frenchmen with the idea of liberty and fraternity, equality. Liberty, what is liberty? One of the main, perhaps the main enemy of Napoleon was the first Rebbe of Chabad. All the other great Jewish leaders, almost to a man, were in favor of Napoleon. Everyone wants freedom. Everyone can have freedom to do what they want. But the first Rebbe of Chabad was against it. How could a person be against the idea of freedom? What could possibly be wrong with liberty, especially when all the other great rabbis of the time were in favor of it? He wasn't proposing liberty to hurt others, liberty to just have a good time. As they say in America, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Liberty is a very wonderful thing. How could it be that the first leader of Chabad, the founder of the Chabad Lubavitch movement, was against this form of liberty that Napoleon was in favor of? The answer is what is liberty? What is the ultimate liberty? What is the ultimate freedom? Some people say that the ultimate liberty and the ultimate freedom is to do what you want. A person can do what he wants. But pretty much everybody knows that that's not true. Everyone will admit that a human being without education is not really a free individual, because he's not aware of all of the opportunities. He's not even aware of what his responsibility is in the world. If his responsibility is only to himself, to have a good time, then the man is fooling himself, because it's not so. Everyone agrees that you have to have some form of leadership or education to take a person out of his own selfish ideas of freedom and bring him to greater ideas of freedom. The question is, what is the greatest idea of freedom? Everyone, I think, will agree that if a person has a neurosis or hang-ups or some sort of psychoses or fears or diseases, then the person is not free. But on the other hand, we see a very interesting thing, that sometimes the greatest measures of freedom, the greatest expression of freedom, is found only by these people who are somehow or other debilitated, let's say, that they're missing something. A lot of times we see stories of Jews in the Holocaust that they expressed when they were in the worst situation possible, that suddenly they rose above their normal human ego state. And there was even states where people were actually happy that they could do the will of God, which nothing would make a normal person happy in a Holocaust, in a concentration camp. What could possibly be the secret of true freedom, a true joy that's found? The true secret of joy and freedom is when a person feels that he's important, when there's a reason why he's being created. If we say that, like Napoleon did, that we're not being created at all, we're just here, and that basically we're the center, and the main purpose of life is, as Freud and the other great psychiatrists said, just to live a life of sort of equilibrium, where you haven't got any problems and you can do what you want, then it's a very small and limited, you can say a reduced level of freedom that depends only on the individual himself. But if an individual can arise above himself and attach himself to something above who he is, in a lower sense, but realize that he is something in a higher sense, that he's actually being created, He's being created for a reason, and that his reason for being created is much more encompassing than, let's say, the reason that a rock is created, or that a plant is created, or that an animal is created. That he actually has a purpose and a function in every single instant of his life, and every single human being is unique, and every second is unique. Then that's a new type of freedom. And that's why God gave the Torah, the Bible, to the Jewish people, because it says that there's no one who is free except for a person who works at the Torah. The Torah is the means by which a person, a creation, can unite himself with the Creator. And this was the purpose of the idea of the first Rebbe of Chabad, first Rebbe of Lubavitch. At that time it wasn't Lubavitch. The first Rebbe of Chabad, the Rebbe who wrote the Tanya, was to show everyone that Napoleon's idea of freedom was not true freedom, and that it wouldn't bring happiness, it wouldn't bring self-realization, it wouldn't bring self-actualization, and it wouldn't bring to any feeling of true responsibility or meaning in life. But what can do so? If a person realizes that every instant is that he has an obligation to the Creator to make the creation a better place. As the famous saying by Rabbi Zushiv of Anipoli, that when I get to heaven, they're not going to ask me why I wasn't Moses or why I wasn't Abraham. They're going to ask me why I wasn't Zushiv Anipoli. Why didn't I express my true potential? So if so, the idea of true freedom can only be really expressed when we act according to the manufacturer's instructions, and we do, and we live life and use all of our potential and all of the aspects of our life to make the world a better place according to the laws of the Creator of the universe, God. And that was the message of Abraham, and that's the message of the first Rebbe of Chabad, and that's the message that the Jewish people are supposed to bring to the whole world.